All right, guys. So I was going to start out recapping some of the Palooza things that we learned, but there are going to be lots of recaps this week, so we're not going to do that. Um, it may still overlap because obviously everything we do is going to overlap here and there. But we were discussing on the way back from Texas some of the things that we thought may be important for team building and what topics we really wanted to cover here. And it was brought up in regards to recruiting, kind of. When you add your groups to your pillar or for your 5 pillars and you're adding groups, we need to get out of the hesitation of adding people, right? Like, I mean, I have moments where I'm like, no, I'm not going to add that person. I've watched Tracy come and go through kind of getting to know who this person might be before you add them a little bit, kind of feeling them out and feeling their profiles out. But I still see people and I'm like, I just don't feel like that person belongs in my friends list. And I hesitate, right? We all do it. We all just question adding people we don't know necessarily. So if that is you, I personally would encourage you to maybe separate your social media types. Like you got your Facebook, a lot of people are more reserved and private on their Facebook accounts. It's more of a family thing. Whereas Instagram can be a place where you can just go willy-nilly. That's what I tell people. Just go follow people that fit in your 5 pillars and keep that more reserved if that's you. If you struggle to share things, it's broadcasting on YouTube, Krista. Um, so if that's you and you struggle to share things publicly, then I implore you to separate your accounts and have one that's more just for adding all the people. And when you do talk about Thrive, the randoms are going to see it. And then if you want to keep your Facebook a little more private, that's fine. However, we all hesitate when it comes to adding people we don't know. That's something that is kind of just like I don't want them to see my kids. I don't want that. But not adding people is actually holding you back. So that's why I say find a way to do it. If it means a different account, that's absolutely what you should do. But that hesitation can absolutely be keeping you from growing. And it's really important that we, I think that growth and letting people who have not been watching your stories for a long time, but adding them from your 5s, if working out is your thing and you're going to a workout group where somebody's struggling, they need that energy because they just don't have the motivation to work out consistently. Okay, cool. So I'm going to add you, comment RCM, comment a little bit and say, I really struggled with this too. And just ask them questions about what they're doing, their regimen, what they're using for an energy source, whatever. Get to know them in those comments on the group and then add them and say, I'd love to help you along or, watch your, be here for motivation even. I'd love to watch your journey and see how you do things because, maybe I need that in my life too. Add them. And then the longer they watch you doing your thing, the more they might ask questions about Thrive and what they're doing. But you're still being authentic in your group, but you didn't, because you added them, that could be a customer, and I've seen people add new people that they just met and literally flip them and they're a customer in a couple of days. So, are you holding yourself back by not adding people? And I think that's a valuable question that we all should be asking ourselves all the time. Another thing in kind of in line with that we talked about is meeting people where they're at and allowing them to be comfortable as just a customer. If they do not want to promote, that's okay. That is absolutely okay. And I think we need to say that more sometimes because if they're not ready to promote and you push that on them, guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to have success. They're not going to promote the way that we promote. And when we take, we're taking this business serious and we want to grow and do things, and it's only going to frustrate you both. If they're a flip promoter and they're not ready, it will discourage them. If they are not having the success they see other people having, it will discourage them and they miss their VIP. They just, this isn't for me. I can't do this. They get a lot of negative talk, so as a customer, work on them, but don't push. Don't be forceful. And, just allow them to remain a customer. If that's ultimately their goal is they just want to thrive for free, cool. Just bring in the referrals because guess who benefits from that? Like you don't have the stress of encouraging someone to do a job they don't want to do, but you also are making level 1 commissions on their referrals if they thrive for free. So it's okay if they're just want to be a customer. That is 100% okay. So we wanted to talk about that. And then for the ones that are promoters and are struggling or they're not wanting to run with you, like you're like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. But they're like, I'm content to be back here and just walk or jog every now and then walk again, or maybe sit down even. Like, if that's their thing, that's okay. It's their journey. And you are not ever going to convince them to run with you if they don't want to run. They're just not. The saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them to drink. You can't make them drink. That's absolutely the case here with growing our teams and pouring into our teams. If they want to sit down on the dang sidewalk and watch you run around in circles and run the race, you have to be okay with that. At the end of the day, you just have to accept that. Find the ones that do want to run and run. Like go hardcore with those. And not 9 times out of 10, but a lot of times the ones that are sitting watching are going to see it and they're going to see your success. And at some point they're going to have this like, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I decide to get up off my butt and start running? Because they're going to see you losing the weight, kicking the butt, reaching all the goals. And they're going to think, if I had just gotten up when they wanted me to run, I could be right there with them right now. So it's okay. Some people just bloom a little late, and that's totally okay. You have to learn to be okay with that, but absolutely run with the runners. And then, so I was talking to one of our team members, and she made the statement, and I typed it word for word because it was beautiful. But she said, make sure they know the door is open, but you're not going to shove them through it. Just make sure they know this door is open. It's available whenever you want it. It's right here. This is the door. But if you stand there and you debate going through it or not, I'm not just going to come up behind you and shove you. Sorry, the dog's barking. I'm not just going to shove you through it. She actually said, I'm not going to shove you through it and then turn around and lock the door behind you. Like, I'm not going to trap you in the room. I think that's really important that in growing a team, you let them know, I'm here for you and I want to see you do incredible things, but I'm not going to work the business for you. I'm not going to do it for you. You have to want it. I will pour into you all day long if that's what you want. If you genuinely want this and you're struggling, I'm here, but I'm not going to work your business. I'm working, most of us are working our own. We're working our spouses, right? Like our parents or whoever's account we flipped for them. We don't have time to work 15 accounts. So absolutely make sure your team members know that you're here for them when if they need a moment, they're struggling, they're having a hard time in life, that's okay. Don't dip, lean in. Don't just abandon, don't mute the chats, don't do permanent things in a temporary situation. So, but make sure they know their potential. Always pour into your team, make sure they know what they're capable of. Because if sometimes people just need you to see it in them, they're not going to see it in themselves. So be there for them, love on them, be understanding, but be encouraging if they're in a hard spot. So anybody have input? I don't like when I'm just the only one talking. So if anybody has anything to share, please do. Rachel, I feel like you got something.
I think that was really awesome. I really like that concept. I don't really have anything to add because I think it was perfect. But I think it was an awesome concept of letting people know that the door is open, but I'm not going to push you through it. I think that's what people really need to hear, because sometimes people assume because of the nature of just sales in general that because of that, just the nature of that beast of other companies and their tactics, they assume you're going to shove them through that door, and letting people know the door is open, but it's all, it's up to you. It's what you really want. I think that is perfect. I'm super excited. It's May. So I'm just so happy to see everybody's beautiful face. But I just think it's great. But that's all I had to say.
Awesome.
Thank you.
If anybody else has anything or an experience, I can attest that I was not about hitting the promoter button. Let me open it. I came from a negative background lifestyle, and this weekend and ever since I've been in these Zooms, I can honestly say I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. So yeah, I mean, comfort zones, they're a comfortable place to be, but they are not. It's scary to step out for a reason. We always say, like, do it scared. Do the hard, do it scared, because sometimes you have it worked up in your head and it's scarier than it really is. So, I mean, I say sometimes, that's usually a lot of the times. It's usually way more intimidating on the front end, but when you get behind it, you're like, that wasn't that bad. And I can say that lives, doing Zooms, doing all this stuff is absolutely one of those things. You get in and you get over it and you're on such a high, like, that was so, it really wasn't that bad. It was fun. I had a blast. And it's nowhere near as bad as you worked it up to be in your head. So if that's you, if you're on the fence and you really want to step into this, just ask. Literally go through the door, guys. Like, it's open, it's there, it's available. We are always looking for people to help host Zooms and do things and share, their story. Do on a live. Grab somebody on Facebook, grab somebody from one of these Zooms and just say, I want to do a live. Let's do a live. I want to share my story. Your story is where you're going to find people that need this product, that need this in their lives, that need a change in their finances, that need a change in any of their circumstances, because a lot of people walk through some dark stuff and don't ever say it. They don't realize it, or they don't want others to know that they're in a place that doesn't look perfect. Like social media, especially, we all want to post the good, but you don't want to share the bad. So there's a lot of people out there that need support. They need what we have here. And once they get there, they will thrive, but you've got to reach them first. If you don't add people, you don't reach out, you don't talk to them, not about Le-Vel, not about Thrive, but just get to know them about your 5 pillars, whatever that subject may be, you're never going to reach them. And there are plentiful in number of people that really, really need what we have in all ways, shapes, and forms. So lean into that. Please, please, please don't be scared to add people. You go for it, Rachel.
Sorry, someone said something to me, and I know we've all heard it, but I just had to say it again. Somebody was like, don't not reach out to me because you're going to rob me of my blessing.
Absolutely. I love that. So not going too in depth of Palooza, but one of the things that really stuck out to me is that Janetta said someone followed up with her 13 times. 13 times, guys. It took 13 follow-ups before she said, okay, fine, I'll do it. She is a 200K millionaire now with Le-Vel, and it took 13 follow-ups. So if you've done 3 follow-ups and this person still is not they don't want it, don't be scared to keep going. Do it until something happens, but lean into their story, lean into their lives, care about them genuinely, so that they see that this is different. What we have going is not like anything else. I think just so many people just see, oh, MLM, been there, done that, but they don't know. They didn't have all this. So, yep, the average is 6 to 11 times. So if you've done a handful and got nothing, don't quit on it. Keep following up, keep talking about it, keep sharing. People seeing consistency in your life is really important for them to see that you're still using the products, you still love it, you're still feeling great, you've got this team that supports you. If in a negative time, you can share like, hey, I had this moment and my team was there for me. Like my team had my back, and it's incredible how much support I have from something that I was skeptical of, from something that I didn't think was going to work, that wasn't for me because I eat right, or wasn't for me because, you know, I drink Monsters and I don't need energy. There's so many things that are possible when you just step out of your comfort zone. And it starts with knowing your 5 pillars, adding the right groups, and then reaching out and not being scared to add people and grow. So, Tracy, you're the queen of adding people and growing from groups. So, do you have anything to add? I know you came in.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like we have all of the tools available to us to know how to add people and how to grow your network. We just have the struggle of keeping ourselves intentional with it, and myself included. Like every single one of us struggles with feeling like we're doing enough because life happens and we get sidetracked and all of those things. But imagine if the person that was following up with her those 13 times, imagine if life would have happened and they didn't follow up.
Yep.
Do you
So
know how different her business would be right now? Because she wouldn't have this millionaire downline now, right?
Absolutely.
So I think just however you need to keep that in your mind, whether it's writing it down or just like forming a habit of telling yourself every morning whenever you wake up, I will be intentional with my time, right? Whatever it is that you need to do, keep yourself on track with those basic IPAs, those basic follow-ups, add new people, build relationships, because your business depends on it and your business can absolutely change or fall apart on one person.
Yep. Absolutely. I was going to share, I have a potential right now that I'm working on. It is a male, so he's a little skeptical. But he was messaging me, and I've known them forever, and he said, Heather, what if you're a millionaire one day with this? And so I turned it back on him and I said, what if you're a millionaire one day with this? You know, what if you're standing in your own way of doing big things, but you're so scared that you don't want to do it. You don't want to take that first step. You see the open door, but you're going to, you know, I see the potential through the door even, but I'm not sure that I want to walk it. You know, what if you are a millionaire one day? You have to say yes. You have to be willing to take the first steps and go through the door in order to get there. It's not just going to happen. Nobody's going to come and push you through the dang door. You have to do it. So yeah, I mean, always be looking at what is my potential here, and, you know, do I believe in my potential? Because sometimes you can have big goals, but if you don't believe you're ever going to get it, you don't manifest it, you might be right. You might never get it. But if you absolutely believe, you know, I'm going to do that and I'm not going to let anybody stop me, then guess what? You're going to go big places and do big things, because that's not okay. So yes. So Gary John Bishop, again, not trying to push on Palooza too much, but he is phenomenal. Absolutely go read his work. There, I don't know how to say the title without just flat out cursing. Tracy, you want to put it in the chat? Oh yeah, you can show it. There you go. There's the book. It is amazing. Literally every chapter, I felt like he basically should have just put my name right there in it, because he was talking straight to me. But hearing him speak in person was amazing. Go get that book and read it. I promise. If you like accents, he has a beautiful accent. And if I've heard that if you do the Audible, he's reading the book to you. So really, really cool stuff. But it's life-changing stuff, y'all. Like all of this, what we have is life-changing for everybody. But you gotta start adding new people. You gotta reach out to people that haven't already seen your story, because the ones that have seen it and they're not doing anything, they may not do anything for another while. But you need new people looking at your stuff and asking questions. So, Tracy?
I was just gonna say, make sure that you're adding people with intentionality.
Yep.
Don't add people. It's the same example I always use. I'm not gonna add a bunch of baseball moms and then post a whole bunch of hockey mom stuff and expect them to comment on it. Right? They don't care. Their kid doesn't play hockey. They don't know the terminology. They don't know what goes into being a hockey mom, all that stuff. They know baseball mom stuff, right? So, and I'm not saying that you can't like have a friendship with somebody that has a different sport than you do, whatever. But like if you're adding a bunch of college students and all of your content is about being a mom, they literally don't care. If you're adding a bunch of moms and you're a college student and all your content is about partying it up, they're like judging you so hard right now. They don't care. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're being really intentional with who you're adding, being really intentional with following up with them, RCMing them and all that stuff. And I mean, just be intentional. That's the whole point. Be intentional, or you're just wasting your own time.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Know your vibes, know the things that make you you and your hobbies or interests or whatever, so that it shouldn't be difficult to add value to a group, and it shouldn't be difficult to offer value when someone asks a question in a group. You should be able to flawlessly, effortlessly talk to these people about these subjects. And if it's not, then maybe it's not a good pillar for you to lean into. So if anybody has any questions, pretty good. I'm working on tax stuff, so I get to go do that fun thing. But I love you guys so much, and I hope that you took something valuable away from this. Lots and lots of Palooza notes coming this week, so absolutely try to be at them. If you miss Palooza, if you went to Palooza and just need a recap and need the feel good again, be there. Tonight is Maria Dillard in place of Mindset. So be aware that Mindset's not happening, but we'll be over there listening to their stories from it, and it should be a good time. So I love you guys, and I will